Okay, good stuff. Awesome. So it looks like it's about people haven't than they have, and that's cool. That's good that we're here together and figuring this out. So I'm gonna just kind of forge forward. I'm gonna share my screen in just a second, but I did want to point out that at any point in time, if you have a question or a comment, sometimes it's hard for me to monitor the chat and do this whole thing. So if you put a question in the chat and I don't answer it, in like a timely manner, just go ahead and unmute and stop me and say, hey, I had a question so that I know, okay? We're gonna jump in. How many of you guys envision yourselves, give me a thumbs up in the camera if your camera's on. How many of you guys envision yourselves using recording pretty often this fall? Cool, quick check, got it. Nice, thanks, Mr. James. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna tell you what it is and how to use it. I'll show you a couple demonstrations so that you can see it. And then if we have questions at the end, I'll go ahead and try to answer those. How many of you guys, one last question, how many of you guys are on a school issued computer? Okay, so almost everybody. All right, so here's the thing about that. The reason I ask is because the district has on our school issued computers, they've locked our ability to add Google Chrome extensions. And what normally happens is that you have to like email tech services, say, I need this thing opened. I had a conversation with Phil Black today on an earlier Zoom I was on. And I said, you need to unlock that for us. There's no way you're going to be able to answer our requests next week once we open and you guys are inundated with tech problems. And he said, okay, I'll look into it. And I told him, okay, great. I'll email you tomorrow to make sure you've looked into it. So I'm hoping to get those released. And if I can't, hopefully, oh, one of the new computers is opened up. You can do them on the new computers. Okay, of course, that's how it rolls. Great, that's awesome. But hopefully moving forward, we can get those unlocked so that you can have them. The reason I say that though is because to use these two tools, you need to have the screen, you need to have an extension. So normally when I do these things, I have you guys mimic like what I'm doing, but for some of you that's gonna be hard because you're not gonna be able to have the extensions. This slide deck will be on the Redwood Teachers Schoology group. And so you can reference that later to see how you download it and all that stuff. I've mapped it out for you. So if there aren't any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. We good? Give me a nod. Oh yeah, Alyssa, what's up?
So if I'm using my personal Mac to do this extension and practice with you right now, is it easy to upload anything I record if I were to record stuff off my Mac and then upload it somewhere and then put it use my work computer to put it like in Schoology or whatever?
Absolutely. But you could also just do it on your Mac if you want. Like if you record it on your Mac, you can just upload it on your Mac too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, you can transfer it. It lives in a drive, so it's not like it doesn't go to your actual computer. It lives in the cloud.
Oh, okay. So I can even pull it up from my PC if I leave my personal computer at home.
Yes, as long as you actually, yes, I'll explain that. I'll get there. Sorry, I don't want to confuse it more, but yes. So I'm going to share the screen right now. Remember, just chime in if you have questions. I'm going to try to be monitoring both. So we're going to get started. The two apps that I'm going to go ahead and are extensions that I'm going to look at, and they are here. These are their logos in the upper right corner. So we have this one here. This is Screencastify. And Screencastify used to be my favorite screen recording tool. And I'm going to go into detail as to why in a second. And then I found Loom, and that's this icon right here, this red one. And the reason I show you the icons and I don't give you the words like this is Screencastify, this is Loom, is because when you add this extension to your bar, you're not going to see the words. You're going to have to identify them by the symbols. So I just want you to know this is Screencastify. This is Loom, L-O-O-M. Okay. So why would we use a screen recorder tool? Well, there's various reasons. One of the reasons is we're going to need to record lectures. As we're embarking into this new normal, right, a virtual classroom, we shouldn't be lecturing the whole time on Zoom, because that's going to kind of, it's going to cause Zoom fatigue for our kids. B, we can't read nonverbal communication the same. So if we were lecturing in front of a student, right, in face-to-face classroom, we can watch all of the students at once, and we can see their nonverbal cues. We can see the slump if they're like checked out. We can see those that are like eager and listening, and it allows us to readjust. That's a lot harder to do in a virtual setting. And so a lot of the data says that the best way to do this is to flip the classroom. So recording lectures and then posting them, and then the kids are on their own asynchronously watching those lectures. And then when they come to class the next day, class in a synchronous form, so on Zoom, they could go ahead and ask questions, or you guys can do extra deeper like follow-up about whatever it was that you lectured on. Another way to use, or a reason to use screen recording is to demonstrate like a step-by-step process or a how-to video. So I can't tell you how many times in the last, like literally last 2 weeks, I've had people email me saying, I don't know how to do this. And rather than, since I can't go to their classroom and show them how to do it, I can say, okay, give me a second. I'm going to record a video for you. So I pop onto Loom and I show them how to navigate in a video, and then I can just send that link over, and it's like me teaching them, but I'm not there. Does that make sense? And then, you know, you ultimately can show virtual models. So there's ways in which you can like put up, you know, a PowerPoint up, and then, or even in your little picture exists, or you can, you know, use the screen a drawing tool while you're screen recording. So if you had like, you were trying to like connect dots for kids or do math problems for kids, like I know with math, like there is Jamboard, which is an online whiteboard, or by Google, or there's a whiteboard.fi. You could share your screen on Zoom like this, and do it while you're doing Zoom and writing on that whiteboard, or you can pre-record that lesson, right? So you can be doing the same type of thing we're doing here, talking to a video camera, right? The camera, but I'm also screen recording. So it's catching every single one of my moves. And then I can upload that to Schoology for kids to watch for extra practice or for guidance, or if they're struggling with a specific concept or whatever. The other thing, the other benefit of screen recording is it gives the learner the opportunity to stop a video recording. So say I do a lecture, the students can then stop it if they miss something and rewind and rewatch it. And so that's obviously the benefit. So I just, in regards to the two different, you know, platforms, Screencastify and Loom, I did want to show you kind of a couple things. So the cool thing about Loom is that they've decided that they are going to make it their unlimited, so their Loom Pro, they're going to make it free for all teachers and students, which is really cool, because that means that you literally can you can record for an unlimited amount without stopping. You can just go for it, and those images or those videos get saved in your Loom account. They don't actually get saved in the drive, but they do get saved in a Loom account, and it automatically generates a link for you that you can then send out. The other cool feature about Loom is there's like a spotlight feature, and I'll show you all these things, but a spotlight feature when you're recording. So anytime you click on something around the mouse, it like this red little like circle expands out. It allows you to draw. So if you're going to use a whiteboard of sorts, you can download it, you can embed it, and then you can share the URL. So you know, it will integrate with Schoology if you're trying to put videos into Schoology, because it does allow for that embed code to generate. The reason I love Loom over Screencastify is this next point. When you are editing your recordings, and I'll show you what this all looks like, you can trim it, right? So you can cut parts out, you can make things shorter or longer. Like say at the end, you like forgot to push stop recording, and so you have all this recording of it, you just kind of staring, doing your own thing. You can cut that off, no problem. You can also add buttons throughout your recording. Now, the reason you'd use a button is maybe you want them to go stop. Maybe you want them to stop the recording, and you want them to like external website. You can add a button like to the actual video that they're watching, and they can click that button and it'll take them to an outside URL. It also allows for links and files to be clicked on as they're going. And then it comes as a Chrome extension. So like I talked about, or an Apple iPhone app, or a desktop app. So if you have a PC or a Mac, not a Chromebook, but a PC or a Mac with like a hard drive, you can download Loom onto your computer. Screencastify, unfortunately, is only the free version, is only if you can only record in 5-minute increments. So you don't get that unlimited recording time. It's only 5-minute increments. You still can record your screen and or use the webcam. It also has a mouse spotlight and you can draw. The difference between Loom and Screencastify when it downloads is that this Screencastify video can be saved to a folder, auto-generated folder in your Google Drive, or you can save it automatically to your YouTube channel directly from like the program. So when I need to quickly like do a quick little like demo and I want to automatically push it to my YouTube channel, all I have to do is click one button in Screencastify. In Loom, you have to download it to your computer and then you need to upload it to YouTube. So there's an extra step. And with Screencastify, there's only a Chrome extension. I'm going to stop for just a second and I'm going to call on someone to give me an answer onto one of my questions. Is everybody nervous? Okay, let's try it. Mika, then you're not nervous. You're like, no, I got this. Go ahead and unmute for me and tell me the difference between a desktop app and a Chrome extension.
I don't know.
I don't know how to answer.
Let's be honest. I feel, me personally, that the Chrome extension is kind of like what the Bitmoji stuff is. Like I have to just download it and then put it up there. And then a desktop app is like what comes with the computer?
Yeah, good. So the desktop lives in your hard drive. Good job. And the Chrome extension, thanks. The Chrome extension is going to be housed in your browser. You cannot access these unless you open up a Google Chrome web page. Okay, so your browser has to be open if you have only the Chrome extensions. Are we clear on that? Whereas Loom's desktop app, I can open that on my computer anytime, whether I'm on the internet or not. All right, I'm going to continue on. So here's some pricings. I mentioned that Screencastify, free Screencastify, only offered $0. You only got 5 minutes recording, okay? Up to 5 minutes, and that's not very much. I mean, most videos shouldn't be, they should only really be 5 to 6 minutes, in my opinion, unless it's like a lecture, but you only get 5 minutes to record. However, there is a special Screencastify educators price for $29 a year, and normally it's $49, but for $29 a year, if you enter in your school email, you can enjoy unlimited recording on Screencastify. So I do have unlimited, unlimited Screencastify as well because it was $30, and I thought for a year that's not bad for what it can do. The other cool thing about Loom and Screencastify is you can download them as GIFs. So if you are recording a video and you want to upload it as a GIF, so you're just showing the process, but you don't want people to watch a video, then you can upload it as a GIF, which is like a moving picture almost, okay? So these are some of the resources. And when you're on this page, if you click on my slide deck, you can actually just click on these images and it'll take you to where you can go research some of the pricing. These are linked for you. So how do you download? I'm not going to go over this in detail very much, but I'll quickly show you. You can literally just click here, and click here, and it'll take you to the extensions and the desktop app. I've already linked them. Or you can just Google Screencastify extension or Loom extension, and it'll be the first thing that pops up. All right. So you guys, I mentioned GIFs earlier. These are GIFs. These aren't videos. So there's no place to push play, but you can see them moving. So how do you Screencastify? Once you have the extension, you then establish some settings, and then you push the extension, push record, and you are recording. It gives you a countdown, and I'll show you that in just a second. And then to stop recording, you go back up to your extension and you just push the stop button. So this is me starting recording. This is me stopping the recording. Okay. After you record, yeah, go ahead, Mary.
Sorry.
No worries.
Are you seeing the little hand I'm raising through the little
I
icon?
am. Yeah, I am.
Okay. Just two quick questions. Do
Sure.
you know if there's a deadline on when we can get the price on Loom for 29 instead of 49?
So Screencastify is 29, not Loom. Loom is free for educators.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's,
No worries.
so we can
Screencastify
record
is,
longer.
yeah, Screencastify is $29 a year for indefinite for educators.
Oh,
They're
okay.
not, they haven't put a timeline on that. Yeah.
Perfect.
And
And
your
then
second
Loom.
question?
Loom, I've heard of it through Lizelle. I'll look it up
Mhm.
later, but just a
Yeah.
one sentence description of Loom.
It's the exact same thing. It's a screen recorder, but it has a couple more editing features, and it generates a link for people to watch versus like saving it as a video image or video file in your drive automatically. And you can
Okay,
download
perfect.
the Loom. You can download Loom videos as MP4s as well, which is a video file if you wanted to. And I'm going to show you how both of them work.
All right, thank you.
No problem. This is what it looks like after you record. You're going to have a page pop up like this, and you can see right here down at the bottom of the screen, like third to the right, there is like this little cutting tool. So you can edit here. You can, make it big. And then this is like the side. So you have some options. You can get a shareable link. So we know like in Google, it integrates with our Google Suite. So we know with Google, you can set like sharing settings in like docs and slides so that people can view things. The same is true. It auto generates a shareable link that you can send out. You can get the embed code, which would help you put it into Schoology if you wanted to put the video into Schoology easily. You can share it directly and push it directly out to Classroom, the Google Classroom. Now I know some people are still going to plan on using Classroom, this year in a combination with Schoology. So if that's something that you wanted to do, you could do that. And then you can publish it directly to YouTube. Okay, so like push it directly to your channel. You can link your YouTube channel if you have one, and it'll go directly there. You can also download it as an MP4 or audio file only, or as a GIF. This is the editing feature. So if you notice back on this slide, it says open in editor. Once it's uploaded, you can open it in their editor software, and then you have a lot of opportunities. So you can see over here these scissors that trims it, cuts parts out. This crops. So if you wanted to zoom in on a specific spot, you could do that. And then you could write text, do text overlays on your recording if you needed to. One thing I did want to kind of point out, if you watched the virtual scholarship night video, that was created 100% on Screencastify. We created that on Screencastify. So you can do voiceovers, and then you can like add things in and cut them, PowerPoints, all that good stuff. And then obviously you can export it. So I want to show you Screencastify before I jump into Loom. So if you'll just bear with me for a second. Are there any questions before I jump in? Okay, well then I'm going to just charge forward. All right. So the way that Screencastify works, once again, like if you just went to Google and you typed in Screencastify extension, it's going to be the first thing that comes up in the Google extension store. Okay. And mine says remove from Chrome because I have it added. So one more time, it's Google. You go to Google and you type in Screencastify extension. My Google Home is like lighting up every time I say Google in here. Once it's added, it lives up in your extension bar. So that's all these up here. You see all these extensions up at the top for me? I have a lot. I'm an extension freak, but you can click the Screencastify logo. It's found right there. And when I click it, this is what comes out, okay? Now, you can solely, if you have like a bunch of different things on your you're doing behind the scenes, then you probably want to do just the browser tab. If you're trying to focus on just one of your browser tabs, these are the internet tabs at the top. It won't get your whole desktop or your whole screen. So that would be browser tab. If you want to do all of your desktop, you would keep it saying desktop here. Or if you want to do webcam only, so if you don't want to necessarily record what's going on the screen, but you just want to record yourself talking, you can use it as a webcam as well. So I usually default to desktop just in case I decide that I need to jump from tab to tab, because if you just do browser tab and then you need to move to a different tab, it won't record that other tab. It's just going to record the tab that you selected it on. You selected the Chrome extension on. Okay. So I usually default to desktop. Your microphone, you can see like, here's my microphone. So it's turned on, now it's turned off, and you can select like what microphone you want to use. If I wanted to embed the webcam so that as I'm also lecturing, they can see me, I can do that. And I can choose which webcam. I have snap camera too, so I can make myself like have like a cat on my head if I wanted to, or sunglasses or things. So I could do that, but I won't, because I'll turn into a duck if I do right now. And there's more options. So you can have a countdown timer if you're the type of person that's like, I need to kind of like bring myself up and I need to think about, like, it'll count down for you and you can go 3, 5, or 10 seconds. I usually stick with 3 because by the time I'm ready to record, I'm usually ready to go, but not everybody's like that. And then there's drawing tools. Now the drawing tools allow you to then draw, circle, X, whatever you need to do if you're trying to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and push record. And I'm gonna choose screen 2. Look at all you beautiful people over on screen 1 right there. We smile. Okay, and then I'm gonna share my second screen. So I'm recording right now, and the way that you know it's recording is if you see me moving my, do you see me moving my webcam? Okay, follow my webcam up. You see this right here, the Screencastify logo? You see how it has a red recording dot on it? That's how you know that it's recording. If you don't see that dot when you push, then you've messed up. This is another way, like if you're trying to record something and you want to draw the student's attention to whatever you're recording, you can use your window to move them around your screen. Like you could say, okay, I need your eyes up at the top of my window. If you look right here, you can see that there is this little thingamabob. Or if you look over in that corner, you could see that I want you to point there, or look down, right? So you can use your little box to kind of guide them if you need to. I could move through my different tabs now because I've done like desktop, or you can just leave it over in the side and they can see your face. Research has shown, I know a lot of people when they're screen recording, they get really nervous because they're like, I don't want them to see my face. But research has shown that like in a virtual setting, when you're doing a recorded lecture and you're going to send it out to your students, having yourself in a web camera is makes attention and engagement exponentially higher because they get to see a real person and not just hear a person's voice. So I would encourage you to use the webcam when you can. If you are working on a PC or a Mac, I would encourage you to download Snap Camera. Snap Camera allows you to change see right now I'm a koala, like my full face on Zoom. Snap Camera allows you to change exactly like what you want your kids to see. So you can be a bunch of different things. It allows you to be an animal, or you can wear a hat or glasses or whatever. You probably wouldn't record a whole lecture as a fox, but you get the point. It stimulates their brain a little bit, and it reminds them of the filters on Snapchat. So so that is that. And then now I realize, okay, I'm done with my lecture. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. So you go back up to the recording, right? The Screencastify extension, and you push it. And you can pause, meaning that, okay, I need to stop for a second, gather my thoughts again, fix something. Okay, I'm gonna go forward. You could restart if you don't want like how you started recording, or you can trash it completely and start over, or you can just push the stop button. After you push the stop button, this is the screen that comes up. So this is your, this is where it uploads. You can title it. So in Screencastify, I told you this, it saves to your Google Drive. So every time when you open Screencastify, the first time, it's going to create a Screencastify folder. And in that folder, it's going to include every single video that you record. So I encourage you to make sure up at the top left here, you change the title. Okay. And then that can save in
right here, you can see that there is this.
So there you go. You heard me talking. That was me turning off the mute. I could trim it now, or I could wait till it uploads. If it's a longer video, it's going to take a bit to get to save to the Google Drive. So just be mindful of that. It's not something that you should record right before you need to get it to kids, because it is like a 10-minute process if it's a long enough video. So just be mindful of that, plan ahead in that regard. And then once again, I kind of showed you these, but you can copy the shareable link. You can change the way that it's shared. So you can make it public, unlisted, anyone can watch it. It's really kind of up to you. And then
Shannon,
there's all these different ways to download it. Yeah, what's up?
If you're on campus, it'll probably upload a lot quicker. I
Yeah.
know here at school, when I was doing my videos, at home, it was taking forever, and it'd take less than 30 seconds at school. The Wi-Fi
Yeah.
is so much better.
I agree. And I also think it's partly because I'm Zooming and sharing my screen. And so there's a lot of video bandwidth that's happening right now. So I'm going to let that kind of load. I'm going to go out of here, and I'm going to move on to Loom, and then we'll come back and look at the editor and Screencastify. Are there any questions about how Screencastify functions? All right. So Loom. So Loom, I like the ending editing features. The way that Loom works is the exact same way as Screencastify, except there's just a couple differences. But to download it, excuse me, you would Google Loom extension, Loom, and you would find it, and then you could go ahead and add it to your extension bar. This is what it looks like when you push the extension. So you can do your screen and a camera. You can do the screen only. You could do the cam only. So we still have the same options, right? You could do the full desktop, which is what I recommend, because if you move between tabs, then it'll catch everything and not just the one tab that you clicked the extension on. Or if you just want to focus on a single tab, you can. Microphone audio, always test your audio before you start recording. I was talking with a friend yesterday. They recorded a 7-minute video and didn't realize they were muted. So the whole video, they're just muted, right? So the way to test that, you see how this is squiggly? All you have to do is talk, like if you're talking, and it'll squiggle, and you know that it's picking up the audio. Mika? Spacebar? Alt-A? You were searching something else. You're on a different screen.
No, I was looking on the side. Will this work if I'm in like present mode in my slides?
Yeah, because
okay.
Yeah, it does. You just have to turn it on and then go into present mode.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Yep. And then you can choose your camera source. I always do flip camera because when you are recording, if that isn't checked, the flip camera, and you say, okay, I want you to look here, right? I don't have my camera mirrored right now. And so you guys see me pointing, or I do have my camera flipped. And so I'm pointing towards my water bottle, hoping that you'll see that. If you didn't flip your camera and you pointed this way, your hand would go that way. So you always want to mirror or flip your camera when you're doing this. And then these control menus you can play with. These are like some advanced options. This is a video I just kind of wanted to show you real quick that I did using Loom. So it's me just kind of looking at.
Okay, so this is how you Loom. Up here, you're going to go ahead, like I said, and you're going to click, and it's going to allow you to set your settings. Obviously, I can't show you that, or I'd have to stop this recording. But you could see over right above my head, there is the.
All right, you get the point, right? So I can have the difference in like the webcam is that I'm not a square, I'm a circle. And once again, you can use a snap camera with Loom as well if you wanted to. So I have a yellow cat on my head, and who knows if that's real or not, because I do have a yellow cat. After you record, these are your options. So this is what it's going to look like down at the bottom. So they're going to literally, when you send out the link, okay, it's gonna generate a link. So it doesn't really act, you know how like on Screencastify I said it takes a while to upload, right, into your drive. this is it's just a web link. So it's a quick link. It lives in a browser. They can watch it over and over. In addition to that, it tells you how many people have watched your video. So it'll send you a follow-up email saying, this many people have watched your video today. Or you can go and turn that notification off. At the bottom of the video, this is what they'll see when you give them the link. At the bottom of the video, it has emojis so that they can react. So you can go back to the video later on and you can see where people put thumbs down or like, or they thought it was funny or they loved it. So people can like react to parts of the video if they wanted. Link sharing is the same as in Google. You want to make sure that, you know, if you want to make it public so anybody can search for it, you can do that, or you can do only people with the link. You can invite people via email if you want them to watch your video. You can just invite people via email. And if you wanted to password protect your Loom video, you could do that as well. So you would need to like give people a password that they can then enter. These are your options for editing on Loom. So I talked about how I like Loom because of the editing options. So you can, there's a bunch of settings you can set up for default stuff. You can trim it just like you can. So cut it shorter or longer parts, cut parts out. You can do a call to action. That's that mention I said about like how you put a button and you can click it and it'll send them elsewhere. And you can also customize the thumbnail. So the thumbnail is like if you posted it somewhere and there's like a little thumbnail of the video or the like a square, only you can see the reactions. So to answer your question, because usually the videos that you're going to be giving out on this are going to be just personal for them to watch. So it's for you to see the reactions. I'm answering a question in the chat, by the way. But a custom thumbnail will let you like even just put a picture of yourself, because sometimes when you record a video, like the thumbnails are you going like, right? And nobody wants that. So any questions so far before I demo Loom? Okay, I'm gonna go out then. So it looks like we're still uploading. I'm gonna blame that on Zoom. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to do Loom now. So remember you have to look at the symbols, right? The icons. So up on the top here, I have my Loom for Chrome icon extension. I'm gonna click it. And these are my options. It's gonna white out your screen to show you that, okay, you're getting ready to do some stuff. You can determine, like, here's some notifications. Somebody gave me a thumbs up to a video that I sent to someone. These are all your record options, right? And then down here on the side, what I've done is it's backwards because I have my camera turned around on Snap Camera. And I have Snap Camera on. So give me just a second. There we are. So you see me now. I could change this to my just FaceTime MacBook if I wanted to as well. Flip camera. All right, and then you just push start recording, okay? Now, as you're recording, it's gonna do the same type of thing. Maybe. Maybe not. Let's try that one more time. I think it's mad at this happening right now and this. It's like too many. Thanks for being patient. Maybe we won't be able to do this. There you go, Snap Camera. Mary put a link in the chat for you guys. All right, well, Snap Camera is not being cooperative right now, or I'm sorry, Loom is not being cooperative right now. So we'll go ahead and wait a second, maybe it will come back. But I did want to show you a couple things that I will include in this PowerPoint. So this is a introduction video, like I mentioned, like the how-to processes, right? So this, somebody was interested in Wakelet, which is a phenomenal resource. I'm like a huge fan of it. It's called Wakelet. Oh, there's Loom, look at us. All right, let's see if it'll work this time. It's
yeah,
not.
I sent that link, Shannon, just to make sure that was the one that we use.
That is the one.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep. So Wakelet, if you are, I mentioned it in my Zoom thing the other day, but Wakelet is like if you were in Nicole's Padlet training the other day on Monday, Wakelet is like Padlet, but free. So it's like a curation site. So you can, and if you find like a website, or you find like a PowerPoint or a PDF or a video or even a tweet, and you like it and you want to save it, normally what we do is we'll take like the URL and we'll put it on like a notes or a doc. With Wakelet, it curates it for you. So there's actually an extension. So if you're on a website and you're like, I really want to save this website, you just push the Wakelet extension, and then you can automatically add it to like a collection board. It's very similar to Pinterest, the collection board. So I recorded this with Screencastify or Loom, I can't remember. But I did not include a webcam, and I'm just doing a voiceover. So I'm going to play just a little bit of it, and then I'll show you kind of what else you can do.
Hi there, wanted to give you a quick little insight into what Wakelet is and how I am using it, and show you how to kind of start with the actual program. So like I mentioned in the newsletter, Wakelet is kind of a content curation site. It allows you to save or log in. The cool thing about the login is it's a single kind of sign-in option, and you can use.
So you guys can learn more about Wakelet by watching this video when you look at the slide deck. Over here on the right, this is me annotating on my screen using a app called Kami, K-A-M-I. It allows you to upload in a PDF, and you can write directly on it with your mouse, or if you have a stylus or anything like that with like an iPad, that'll work too. You can also type, it doesn't need to be handwritten. And so for my kids in the spring, I needed to show them how to annotate a document. I couldn't see them on Zoom, so we couldn't do it together. So I modeled the annotation and I recorded it to show them.
Immigrate to the United States, and then we go find the conquer, which is the infinitive. We're looking to convince his wife to immigrate to the United States. Now we create the conquer question. In the country where I've been, you'll see the young women with their veils and parasols. It sucked, but I don't repent it.
So you guys get the point. So I'm like marking things up as I go, and then they were able to watch it. I just posted it online so that they can then mimic that. It was after they were asked to already annotate theirs. So then I asked them to watch mine and then go back to their passage and re-annotate with like the ideas in mind. This one down here is a testing guide I made for the AP test. So this one was made on, these two were made on Loom. This one was made on, these two were made on Screencastify, this one Loom. But you could see that I have a picture-in-picture. So it's the same type of thing. Mika, you asked about the present mode. So I can go ahead and push play on that, maybe. I hate when that little bar gets in the way. So you could see this way.
Hey guys, what's up guys? S'more here. College Board just recently put out an AP testing guide, and I wanted to go ahead and give you that information. It'll be helpful leading up to the exam day on May 20th.
So you can see how much more engaging it is when you have somebody like in the picture-in-picture than somebody who's not, and it's just a voiceover, right? Because you can gauge my face and my nonverbal cues. And then you were probably familiar with this virtual scholarship night PowerPoint. So I created all the slides, and then I taught Hadagi how to do the voiceovers. And you can embed videos.
My name is Matt Shannon. I'm the proud principal.
Changing Lives Memorial Scholar. And desire to go into construction management. He symbolizes equality.
So you guys get the picture, right? I mean, those are all of your screen recordings. Now we're going to go back up to Screencastify real quick. The last thing I want to do is I want to show you, notice I had X'd out that Screencastify tab because I thought that Loom would work. And so now you're like, well, how am I going to edit it? It's gone. If you click on the extension, whether you intend to record or not, your recordings live somewhere, right? They live in your drive, or on the extension, these stacked pancakes here on the left side, the 3 lines. If you click them, you can go to my recordings. And then you can find all of your recordings that you've ever recorded. And there is our how to Screencastify video. It's already uploaded because this bar over here on the side is gone. And if I wanted to edit it, all I had to do is click open in editor. It's going to fire up the editor. And then that's where you have all those tools to be able to cut, trim, you know, zoom in or crop. And like I could push play, or I could click my mouse. Notice it's highlight. You see the highlighted yellow around it, and you see like my little line right here. So I could push X, right? Say I didn't like this intro part and I wanted to throw the intro part away. I could just cut it into little chunks, or say I messed up on this from here till here, there was a mess up. I could cut it, right? And I want to combine these two, because I like fumbled over my words during this time. I could just click it, trash it, and it combines it. So now it's fluid. So as you're kind of speaking, if you misspeak or you mumble over your words or you say something wrong, the cool thing about Screencastify is you can go in and just cut portions out, right? And then just take them out, and it will redo it for you. And if you mess up like I just did and deleted the rest of the video, you could just go to the undo button and it brings it back, right? The crop allows you to zoom in. So if I wanted to zoom in on this portion of my screen, I could. If I wanted to add text, so like don't forget about this, you could highlight it and have it stand out on your video. So if I wanted to move this like down below or whatever, to the bottom or whatever, I could, and it can live down at the bottom like the whole time we're editing or watching. So and then you can export it. You can add another clip. So if you're in the editor and you're like, oh shoot, I forgot to say that thing, you can go re-record a clip, and then out of your recordings you can just push this blue thing, and you can upload it from your drive or from the cloud or from your computer. And then you export. If you're done, you can export it as an MP4, which is a file that will live on your computer, or you can export the edited copy to your Google Drive. So that is essentially it. Do you have any, want to unshare? Do you have any questions for me, like about the process? Or yeah, Mary, what's up? You got to unmute. No worries.
It sounds like Loom and Screencastify are more or less the same thing, but slightly different features. So if I was going to choose one, because my brain's going to explode with all this extra stuff, which one would you choose just to get the most familiar with if we want to use those tools?
It really depends on cost. If you're okay with spending the $29 a year, then I'd probably recommend Screencastify.
Yeah, if it's the better program, I don't mind that.
It's not about
I save that in food on Saturday school.
Yeah, it's not about the better program. It's about the simplistic use. And so I like Loom because it doesn't download as a video file. And so I don't have to wait for that upload or that, you know, that export. It's an automatic link that I can do it really quick and just throw in a link. And people can watch it like that. Also, Loom also gives you feedback on like if people watched it. So every time I send a link out or a how-to, I know people that have watched, I know people have watched it because it gives me that notification. So it's really just dependent upon exactly what you're using it for. A lot of my use is for like quick videos to show people how to do things. And so I'll use Loom for that. But if I'm like gonna record a lecture, then I would probably use Screencastify because I can just share it as a drive file.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you can absolutely upload these to Edpuzzle because they both export as MP4s and they both can be added to YouTube. So if you wanted to record a lecture and then export it as an MP4 and then upload it to the Edpuzzle program, for those of you guys that aren't familiar with Edpuzzle, you can watch a video and it has like, you can add formative questions that kids must answer to gauge their understanding. You can totally do that too. You can record it here on the screen record, and then you can upload it to YouTube or download it as MP4 and then upload it to Edpuzzle. Go ahead.
I'm going to keep it like this so I look like a floating head to my students.
No worries. I love it. Okay, there's one last thing. I haven't gone over the details. I mean, I didn't put it in my PowerPoint, but I do want to kind of just mention it. This guy, his name's Clay. He goes by Clay Codes, like CODES, like computer coding, Clay Codes. Whoa. He built a add-on / extension that lives in your Google Slides. And so if you want to record yourself and automatically have it go to your Google slide, you can add that, and you don't have to record elsewhere and then import it into your Google Slides. You can just push this button and it automatically pops up a record video. Sorry, my camera's backwards again. I gotta fix that somewhere, but I just got a new Mac and I don't 100% know how to use it yet. But you can automatically record here. So I could click this button. Hi, everybody. Just wanted to remind you of the importance of smiling during this really crappy time. And then it records your video and you can put it automatically. It inserts into your slide deck. So that's another thing. If you type in, so if you go to Google, I think this is the way to do it. It just ended up on my slides one day and I was like, oh, so Clay Codes, and it's record to slides right there. Google add-ons, extensions, Clay Codes, records to slides.
Okay.
And then you can get it and add it. So it's called record to slides. And then it adds to your PowerPoint, and you're good to go. I haven't played with it enough yet to really understand how it works fully, but it is another option. There's a lot of options out there, but I usually stick with Screencastify and Loom. So that's really all I have. I would love to answer any questions that you might have, or like if you're curious how this could work at a certain setting, we could maybe do a quick little brainstorm, but that is everything that I have for you. Yeah, Mary?
What about Surface? I have an older Surface, Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of features I never used. I just really needed a laptop and decided to go for it. But I think that would do a lot of this stuff, and with the stylus and being able to write. So do you ever work with a Surface, or mostly just the Macs? So no, I actually never owned a Mac until just recently. I actually do have a Surface, but that's how I did that annotation page. I used the little pen on my Surface to annotate, so I like it. Also in Cami, you can, like I said, do like text boxes. So if you don't have like a pen to write on a touch screen, you can use text box and annotate that way. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, Diana.
Okay, so if I'm thinking forward to like tasty videos, right, where they're all just kind of chopped up.
Yeah.
If I go back to Mary's question of like Screencastify versus Loom, which one do you think would be better for that kind of thing?
I would probably say Screencastify. Here's the thing. I know Screencastify better. I don't use a lot. I like the features in Loom's editing, the opportunity to add like a button or a call out or things like that. But really Screencastify's editing tool is so easy, and it's so like easy to export as an MP4. And so and add clips. Like, so I probably would say spend the $30, $29 and get the Screencastify Pro or Unlimited and go with that.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm thinking like, I can't even think right now a tasty video if they're even talking or if they're just putting words over both. But it seems like it might be easier to record the whole thing, go back and trim it, and then speak over it. Maybe.
Yeah. So that's a whole different thing. Oh,
Great.
sorry. I was going to show you. So what you're talking about is voiceovering in videos. So like I did with the graduation video, that was a PowerPoint that she was just zooming along. She didn't like impose her audio over anything. It wasn't a video. Does that make sense? She kept clicking
Yes.
to move through the PowerPoint. But there is a program called where you can do voiceovers on anything. It's called Vocaroo, VOCAROO, or voice recorder is another one. There's a lot of like voice recorder pieces that you could work out, but
Okay.
I would suggest like maybe you know, you could be recording, like ideally you could do like a so Loom has a iPhone app, and so what you could do is you could download the iPhone app and somehow attach that app to your like self or to like the cabinet or something, so it's looking down to like what you're preparing, and you could be recording and talking while you're doing that hands-free or something. And I think that'd probably be a better option than you cooking and then putting voiceover, but it's possible.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but that iPhone app could really make things, you know, a lot easier because you could be viewing and talking at the same time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Whereas with this, you would need a Chromebook, you know, or a internet browser. So with Screencastify, that is. All right, any other questions? Anybody need to like verbally process their thinking? I know that sometimes with videos like this, I usually like to have people play, but like it's once again hard if you don't have the extension and can't get the extension. But I would love to like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Does anybody want to give ideas about how they could use this in their classroom before we head out? Nope. Everybody's like, it's 8:30, Shannon. Come on. Hi, Liz. What do you got?
Hi. No, I was just gonna recommend to Diana there's like tripods now for like iPhones, so maybe consider a tripod. I know Kuhn wanted to record himself out at the farm, so maybe like a body cam thing that I mean, I don't know if those are out there, but Amazon has everything, so you could try it.
They are.
So that's just a suggestion. And then how I'm probably going to use this, like we do a lot of skill building the first couple weeks of school, and so I'm probably going to draw all over maps, and that's my plan, is to kind of show them
That's good.
maps and stuff there. So
yeah, no, that's good. I like that a lot. I think that is a good tool. I put something in the chat for you, Diana, about like what Liz was talking about. It's like a harness you wear and you can put your iPhone in it, and it can then, you know, I always want to put one on my head. So like when I'm looking down at things, it's just like going, or like a GoPro or something.
Thank you. Yeah, I just looked at it. And as a matter of fact, you know, we just got an email today about our like CTE fund for like what we might need. So I was already kind of thinking like, what could I do that I don't have to hold something in my hand, you know, and try to do something with the other hand. So I'm gonna see if they'll buy it for me.
Diana,
awesome.
My husband bought one on Amazon that even follows you. Kind of like moves. It has like motion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, for sure. I've seen those.
For some videos that he does. Yeah, but it's pretty cool.
Cool. Thank you.
I wanted to show you one last thing before I head out. This is the platform where all of your Loom videos are stored. So you go to loom.com/my-videos. You could literally just put in Loom and sign in, and it's there. And then this is where they're all saved. Whereas like your Screencastify videos are going to be saved in your drive. The Loom videos get saved on the cloud, and they get saved as what are called WebMs, which is like a very small compressed video file, which then makes it easy to just like, that's why they give you a link. It just opens up into a browser to watch. So. All right, well, that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. Tomorrow we have 3 more we're doing. So in the morning, Nicole Vieira and I are, it's so fun to say, Nicole Vieira now. Nicole and I are gonna be doing a Google Suites. Thank you, Patricia, thanks, Diana. And so we're gonna be talking about docs and how to make choice boards. So if you're interested in that, we're gonna be talking about drawings. So people are interested in, you know, creating the like custom icons for their Schoology account and the custom like drawings for their unit files in Schoology. We're going to be showing you guys how to do those. And then we're going to end with Google Slides and kind of show you how to make a slide engaging and interesting, giving you some resources. And then I'm going to briefly preview Nearpod and Pear Deck. which are add-ons to Google Slides, and it makes every single slideshow that you give to kids a interactive, engaging slideshow. It's not just static. Then tomorrow also, I'm going to be leading a lesson on hyperdocs, which is essentially, it's not just hyperlinks in a doc, but it kind of is a whole process. And then I'm going to finally end with my favorite app that exists probably in the world, and that's Flipgrid. And it's so much fun and it has so much potential, and it's going to literally change my school year. So if you can join me for any of those or all of them, cool. I'll see you there. If not, that's all I have. So thanks for coming and hanging with me tonight. We made it 1 hour.
Thank you, Shannon.
My pleasure. Have a wonderful night, guys. See ya.